The portable deck-mounted monitors are used at defensive fire incidents. There are times when the pumper can't get close enough to the building to effectively flow the monitor from the apparatus, or the original spotting of the apparatus was for an offensive fire operation and the fire went defensive. In this case, the apparatus is out of position for defensive ops, and the crew will need to place the monitor in service on the ground away from the truck. The monitor will also be used in remote locations to protect exposures or cool down a burning or exposed compressed gas cylinder. In most of these instances, the monitor will be placed in service by reversing the hose lay from the fire to the hydrant. The crew will then set up the monitor and retreat to a safe location until the incident scene is secure. Each member of the crew will be evaluated on the separate tasks needed to complete the reverse portable monitor hose lay. This includes the front position, the nozzle position, and the plug position on the truck. This evolution also requires that all three positions on the engine work cohesively to successfully complete the evolution. This requires good teamwork and communication. Each member of the crew is required to perform all the tasks for the evolution wearing full protective clothing. Let's take a look at the duties of the person in the plug position. The plug position is responsible for dismounting the apparatus at the portable monitor spot and removing the supply line from the humid valve. Pull back the supply hose to about 70 feet and place it in an accordion fold. Retrieve the plug wrench, remount the engine, and proceed to the hydrant with the engineer. At the hydrant, you will be required to dismount the truck and assist the engineer with spotting the pumper to the hydrant with the soft suction hose. Once the connection is made to the hydrant, open the hydrant and then open the intake valve to the pumper. Then proceed to the rear of the truck. Pull back a sufficient amount of supply hose from the hose bed, connect the hose to the gate using the proper coupling. In this case, the double 3.5-inch female. Once connected, notify the engineer of the successful connection and the gate number for the hose line. Then don your SCBA, close all compartment doors, and proceed to the monitor to assist your crew. The maximum time allotted for this evolution is 5 minutes. Time will stop for the plug position once the connection has been made to the discharge gate and the engineer has been notified to charge the line. There are performance targets upon which you will be graded to complete the required tasks. Failing to meet any standards of the critical factors on this evolution is considered an immediate failure for the entire evolution. Failure to perform any two non-critical standards will also be considered a failure for the entire evolution. Now look at the individual performance targets upon which you will be evaluated for the plug position. Once the truck completely stops where the monitor will be placed, you will unbuckle your seatbelt and look both ways before stepping from the apparatus. Then go to the tailboard of the truck and remove the supply line from the humid valve. Now do a pullback from the supply hose bed with approximately 70 feet of supply line, which is about 1.5 lengths of hose. Note, members are not allowed to walk backwards for any reason. When doing your pullback, place the hose in an accordion fold within view of the engineer's mirrors. Once your pullback is complete, retrieve the hydrant wrench, remount the apparatus, fasten your seatbelt, and proceed to the plug with the engineer. Upon arrival at the hydrant, the engineer will stop about 15 to 20 feet from the plug. Once the truck has completely stopped, you will look both ways and dismount the apparatus. Go to the soft suction tray specified by the engineer and ensure it is connected to the intake valve. Extend it fully to the hydrant and then direct the engineer to pull close enough to the hydrant for the soft suction hose to reach the plug. Avoid stopping the engineer too close to the hydrant. If the spot is too close, the suction hose will kink after it's been connected. Once the truck completely stops and is spotted on the hydrant, connect the soft suction hose to the plug and open the hydrant fully to charge the hose. When the suction hose is charged, open the pump's intake valve to supply water from the plug to the truck's pump. Now proceed to the rear of the truck and make a sufficient pullback of the supply line from the supply hose bed to reach the appropriate discharge gate. Again, you are not allowed to walk backwards. Connect the supply line to the discharge gate with a proper coupling. You'll need the double female 3.5-inch adapter to make this connection. Notify the engineer once the connection has been made and identify the discharge gate to which the line is attached. The monitor is now ready to be charged. The allotted time to perform these tasks is 5 minutes. After making your connections and informing the engineer the line is ready to be charged, don your SCBA. Ensure all the compartment doors are closed, and proceed to the monitor to assist your crew. Your portion of the evaluation will then be complete. Now let's look at the requirements of the person in the front seat position. The front seat position on this evolution is required to dismount the truck at the monitor spot and don the SCBA. You will then climb into the supply hose bed and correctly remove the monitor from its base. Return to the rear of the truck, hand the monitor down to the nozzle person, return to ground level, and ensure all the necessary equipment has been removed from the truck. You will then secure the accordion hose load on the ground with the nozzle person and signal the truck to go to the hydrant. You are then responsible for placing the hose clamp on the supply line and assisting the nozzle person with the setup of the monitor. After the setup is complete, remove the hose clamp from the line, don your facepiece, and notify the engineer, if necessary, that the monitor is ready to be charged with water. The time allotted for all of these tasks is 5 minutes. There are performance targets you will be graded upon to complete the required tasks. Failing to meet standards of any of the critical factors on this evolution is considered an immediate failure for the entire evolution. Failure to perform any 2 non-critical standards will also be considered a failure for the entire evolution. Take a look at the step-by-step performance targets upon which you will be evaluated for this evolution. Once the truck stops completely at the monitor spot, you will unfasten your seatbelt and look both ways before dismounting the apparatus. Dismount when safe to do so, and proceed to the SCBA compartment. Don your SCBA and close the compartment door. Next, go to the rear of the truck, climb into the supply hose bed, and go to the monitor mounted on top of the truck. Remove the monitor by unscrewing the bottom swivel at the base. Grasp the handle on top of the monitor and turn the handle while pulling the pin located next to it. Pull up on the handle and the monitor should come free. Note, the only time you pull the pin located next to the handle is when you're removing the monitor from its base. Never pull this pin while the monitor has water flowing through it. This will cause the monitor to fly off its base, creating a very hazardous condition. Once the monitor is removed from the base, go to the end of the hose bed and hand the monitor down to the nozzle person. Now dismount the hose bed, assist the nozzle person with the removal of necessary hand tools, monitor base with chains, and the double male 3.5-inch coupling. When all the proper equipment has been removed, secure the hose line with the nozzle person in visual contact with the engineer and signal the engineer to proceed to the hydrant. After the first coupling has fallen from the hose bed or there is enough slack in the line, release the accordion fold and place the hose clamp on the hose line at the truck side of the coupling. Assist the nozzle person with the setup of the monitor once the hose clamp is in place. Once the setup is complete, remove the hose clamp from the hose line and don your face piece. Signal the engineer you are ready for water if water was not already at the hose clamp when you released it. The allotted time to perform these tasks is 5 minutes. Now look at the responsibilities of the nozzle position for this evolution. The nozzle person will be required to safely dismount the truck once it has completely stopped at the monitor spot. You will then don your SCBA. Remove the double male 3.5-inch coupling from the engineer's compartment. Remove the appropriate hand tools from the truck. Remove the hose clamp from the tailboard. Assist the front seat position with the monitor at the tailboard, and then remove the monitor base and chains from the apparatus. After obtaining all the appropriate equipment from the truck, join your crew member at the accordion folded supply line and signal the engine to proceed to the hydrant. Once the first coupling falls from the supply hose bed, run out a 50-foot pressure loop. Once the loop is in place, work with your crew member to set up the monitor by chaining the monitor base to the supply line's coupling in the front of the monitor. Applying the double male coupling to the supply line and into the base of the monitor. Make sure there is at least 10 feet of hose directly behind the monitor. The monitor's nozzle position must be extended all the way up, and the appropriate size tip should be mounted on the monitor in order to reach the target. Now don your SCBA, grasp the monitor, and signal the engineer you're ready for water. All of these tasks must be completed within 5 minutes. There are performance targets you will be graded upon to complete the required tasks. Failing to meet standards of any of the critical factors on this evolution is considered an immediate failure for the entire evolution. Failure to perform any 2 non-critical standards will also be considered a failure for the entire evolution. Now look at the step-by-step performance targets upon which the nozzle person will be evaluated for this evolution. After the truck has completely stopped at the monitor spot, you will unfasten your seatbelt and look both ways before stepping from the apparatus. Proceed to the SCBA compartment and don your SCBA. Next, go to the engineer's compartment and remove the double male 3.5-inch coupling and place it on the ground near the accordion fold supply line. Remove the appropriate hand tools from the truck and place them near the supply line. This will include a full set of irons. Now remove the hose clamp from the tailboard and place it in the same general area. Assist your crew with getting the monitor out of the supply hose bed. Then remove the monitor base and the chains from the truck. Once the required equipment has been removed from the apparatus, you will secure the hose line along with your crew member in view of the engineer and signal the engine to proceed to the hydrant. When the first coupling drops from the hose bed, grasp at the end of the supply line and run out a 50-foot pressure loop in front of the monitor. Then, work along with the front seat position to secure the monitor to the supply line. While your crew member is connecting the double male adapter to the supply line, you will wrap the monitor's base chains around the supply hose couplings in front of the monitor. When the chains are secured around the hose, connect the supply line using the double male coupling into the base of the monitor. Make sure there is at least 10 feet of hose directly behind the monitor. You must ensure the nozzle position of the monitor is as far up as possible and you have the appropriate size tip required to reach the intended target. Once the monitor is set up and ready to go, don your facepiece and signal the engineer you are ready for water. Step away from the monitor until water is flowing and adjust the angle as needed. The maximum time allotted for this evolution is 5 minutes. As you can see, there are several different components required of each position on the truck in order to accomplish this evolution. It is critical that all team members work together and communicate well with one another to successfully complete the required tasks. Now let's look at this evolution in real time, and good luck with your own performance.
Discharge 2, kid! Strike.